The TCU baseball team is off the schneid, notching its first win of 2013. Jansen Whitty is in studio to share his thoughts on the young season. Another highly touted recruit joins the ranks of the 2013 football recruiting class. And the Ultimate Frisbee team prepares for an upcoming tournament. From the Schieffer School of Journalism, this is TCU Sports Now.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this week's TCU Sports Now broadcast. I'm J.D. Moore.
And I'm Landon Haaf. They say 1 is the loneliest number, but if you ask the Horned Frogs, 0 might be lonelier. That's how many wins the TCU baseball team had going into its game against Dallas Baptist on Tuesday night.
TCU did something that it had not been able to do in the previous 6 games when it jumped out to an early lead against the Patriots. The early runs backed freshman Trevor Seidenberger, who was throwing with surgical precision in his first career start. The righty threw 6 no-hit innings and struck out 6 in his effort. Cody Jones tallied 3 hits, and Kevin Crone drove in 3 runs to give the Horned Frog offense an advantage and give TCU the win.
Alex Apple will have starting third baseman Jansen Whitty in the studio later in the show to discuss turning the page on the 0-6 start.
Lupton Stadium made its season debut when it hosted a 3-game series with Cal State Fullerton. The Frogs' friendly confines have a different look after a few off-season renovations. Evan Rekatoon caught up with a couple of the fans to get their initial reactions.
Fans were able to get their first look at renovations to Lupton Stadium when they came out to watch the Frogs' home opener against Cal State Fullerton. Renovations that include closer outfield walls, new fences, expanded warning tracks, and a new terrace area along the right field side. The construction is just the first phase of an $8 million master plan to the stadium, but are the changes being welcomed by fans? Well, it all depends on who you talk to.
Maybe get a few more jacks that excite some fans a little more. But overall, I think it's a wonderful stuff. Probably one of the top 5 or 10 stadiums in the country.
I'm not sure that I agree with the hill and terracing that off, because that brought in a great, unique feeling to the stadium. It was fun for the kids.
They're great. I mean, we're trying to add more seats, and they got rid of the hill, which I'm sure some of the young ones are not fond of, but it's going to make it better for baseball.
Not fond of, indeed. The hill was known for being a place where kids could bring cardboard boxes from home and slide down on. It was a favorite of not only kids, but families. Families like the Hazelwoods, whose son Logan didn't believe the hill had been replaced at first.
At first, my dad was like, "There's no hill." I didn't believe him because he always makes jokes. So I'm like, "No." And then I saw him like, "No, you're kidding me. We brought those big boards." I was very disappointed.
Other parents, like Charlie Scholes, believe the move reduces the risk of injury.
It seems more safe. The kids, they used to have just it was just mass chaos over here.
Associate Director of Athletics Ross Bailey says he has gotten mostly positive reaction.
Fans curious about the distances, to the new outfield wall, and really the first base berm, going in and tearing that has really been accepted very well.
Whatever the initial reaction, Bailey believes the renovations will benefit TCU down the road. Evan Rekatoon, TCU Sports Now.
TCU had an average of just under 4,000 fans coming to each game of the opening weekend, a slightly lower number than last year's regular season average. An average of 5,200 fans showed up per game for last year's home weekend opener against Ole Miss.
And the TCU track and field team notched the first Horned Frog Big 12 Conference championships. Charles Silman and Chonika Corinaldi took the men's and women's 60-meter dash, respectively. Silman recorded a time of just 6.66 seconds, winning by 2/100ths of a second. On the women's side, Corinaldi clocked in at 7.34 seconds. Despite their 2 wins, both the men's and women's squads finished 9th overall.
Another Horned Frog showed his wheels over the weekend as former TCU wide receiver Josh Boyce clocked in at an incredible 4.38 in the 40-yard dash. It was the top 5 result for wide receivers. Boyce also lifted 22 reps on the bench press, the second best result for his position. He also finished in the top 5 for the broad jump and in the 3-cone drill. Defensive end Stanley Maponga lifted 30 times in the bench, but did not compete in other events at the Combine. He cited a foot injury that he is still rehabbing. Now, finally, the last Frog who showed up at the Combine, Matthew Tucker, he finished in the top 12 in the 40, running a 4.55. He finished in the top 5 in the vertical jump and had 17 reps on the bench press.
The 3 frogs at the Combine are bright spots from the past, but the TCU football team recently added another bright spot for the future. 4-star recruit Tevin Lawson from Denham Springs, Louisiana, flipped his commitment to LSU to become a Horned Frog. The late addition of Louisiana's 6th-ranked player makes TCU's 2013 recruiting class a top 30 class in the nation, according to Rivals.com.
The men's golf team swept both the individual and the team titles at the Desert Intercollegiate. Sophomore Julian Brun led the way with a 3-round score of 206. With the win, Brun earned his 5th individual career title. Senior Eli Cole finished 5 strokes under par behind Brun for 2nd place. All 5 frogs placed in the top 10 individually, and as a team, the frogs finished 19 strokes under par.
The men's basketball team was not able to repeat its success against the Jayhawks when they traveled to Allen Fieldhouse. The Frogs put up a dismal 9 points in the first half on their way to a 74-48 loss. A diamond in the rough for TCU was Devontae Abram, who scored a career-high 18 points, grabbed 9 rebounds, and blocked 2 shots.
TCU women's basketball started with a high last week, getting an inaugural Big 12 victory with an upset over 22nd-ranked Oklahoma State. That momentum couldn't be carried, however, as the Frogs fell to West Virginia 66-56 and fell to Austin to the Longhorns 59-46. The team plays Iowa State at home for senior night on the 3rd and finished this year in Kansas for a rematch against the Jayhawks on the 5th.
And the active leader in career hits, a 2-time All-Mountain West selection, and the active leader in career RBIs for the TCU baseball team joins us in studio. That player is senior 3rd baseman Jansen Whitty, who is sitting down with Alex Apple to talk about his team finally getting in the win column and their new approach to the season.
Thanks, Landon. Joining us now in studio is TCU baseball's 3rd baseman, Jansen Whitty. Whitty's a senior. You guys got your first win last night. Whitty was on base twice. Frogs pushed across 6 runs, a season high. Talk about getting it going a little bit and finally getting that first one under your belt, and hopefully some wins can start coming now, in rapid succession.
Yeah, that's what we expect. Definitely felt good to get the first one out of the way. We're treating it like a new season. We started off 0-6, which we don't like to talk about anymore. We had a meeting on Sunday and got together as a group on Monday night and decided that, we haven't been playing our best, but we're going to start over right now. And that's what we did last night. We came out, we didn't play our best, but played well enough to win. So it feels good to get the first one out of the way.
So after the Sunday game, you guys have a long locker room meeting. Coach Schlossnagel talks to you guys for a while. I'm sure you guys talk amongst yourselves for a while. Talk about turning, what was a low point on Sunday and turning that into a positive and really getting yourselves ready to go for the Tuesday game.
This past weekend we really didn't play very well. Not only did we not play very well, but Fullerton has a really good team, and they kind of put it to us. But getting off of that, we know how much potential we have, and we had a good fall and a good spring. We know we have a good club. So as far as spinning that into a positive Tuesday night or last night getting our first win, I think Sunday was a point of this is it. Like, we really need to get going right now. And so that's why we had a meeting Monday night as well, just get together as a team and talk things over. And, I think it worked out for us.
And then along with you and Kevin Crone and Derek Odell and some of these guys in the middle of the order, you guys' talent is proven. Talk about you guys just relaxing at the plate. Was there a sense of, when things aren't going well, you're trying to hit that 5-run homer, or you're trying to get it all back at once, and instead of just letting the game come to you?
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely added pressure to ourselves. Since we haven't come out to a great start, and that's why we decided that we're going to start the season fresh. Last night was game 1, so right now we're 1-0. I'm looking forward to conference play, but I'm really looking forward to this weekend and getting some more wins under our belt.
All right, great, Jansen. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Landon, back to you in the studio.
Diamond back to the courts. One of the best-kept secrets on the TCU campus is the men's tennis team, who jumped out to a 7-3 record this season, with Pepperdine coming to town on Tuesday. Orlando Superlano has been magic with a racket in his hands so far this year, but the Venezuelan senior was taken down 6-4, 6-4, and the Frogs dropped 5 of 6 singles matches, leading to a 5-2 Pepperdine victory.
And the women's tennis team moved up to number 20 in the ITA college team rankings. It's the highest ranking for the Horned Frogs since March of 2008. TCU has defeated 3 straight ranked opponents, including number 17 Vanderbilt. In conference, only 19th ranked Texas Tech is ranked higher than the Frogs. In men's club lacrosse, TCU started the weekend strong, with the team's 5th straight win by toppling Oklahoma 12-7. However, the Frogs couldn't keep it up. They fell to Texas State on Sunday. They ended up falling 13-3. Don Pizzuti finished with 5 scores for the Bobcats on the day. TCU now stands at 5-1 on the year, with a weekend tournament in Georgia coming up.
And staying in the realm of club sports, the TCU Ultimate Frisbee team is headed to St. Louis, Missouri for a 2-day tournament this weekend. Tori Cummings joins us with more.
Thanks, Landon. The Ultimate Frisbee team will send a men and women's team to the Midwest Throwdown this Saturday and Sunday. I went to TCU's scrimmage against a local club Frisbee team to see how tournament preparations were going. The TCU Ultimate Frisbee team will face new challenges at the Midwest Throwdown. The Frogs have never participated in the tournament or face any of the teams they will play. However, co-captain Camille McDonald said she has high expectations for the women's team after placing second at a tournament in early February.
I know that this is going to be a different pool of people, but I think it's going to be a great experience for our women to build on so that we can come out strong in the sectionals tournament at the end of the semester.
For men's captain Michael Mathis, the focus will be improving on a winless performance at their first tournament of the semester.
So I hope that'll provide motivation for our team to really improve and step up our game for this next tournament and come out with a lot of heat in these first games so we can start the tournament well.
The men's team is composed mainly of freshmen who aren't as experienced with Ultimate Frisbee. Mathis said the freshmen have improved a lot since the fall and expects them to be challenged at the Midwest Throwdown. The tournament also offers a skills clinic for women on Saturday. Women will be able to work on different Frisbee skills, including cutting, throwing techniques, and defense.
Although I can give as much foundation as I can during practices, they really need people with the expertise and people with more experience than I do to really get them to the next level.
The Frogs are excited to play in a different environment and for the chance to improve their skills against new competition. Tori Cummings, TCU, Sports Now.
Thanks, Tori. That's it for this week's TCU Sports Now broadcast. I'm Landon Haaf.
And I'm JD Moore.
Have a phenomenal day.